Today, I will share with the foreigners' biggest pet peeves. Intellect says, what's your biggest pet Philippines? Here are the rules. Name only, answer only if you're spat, meaning you have lived and stayed in the Philippines. It can't be other expat or related. Comment even if it's already been mentioned. Don't be bitter about this post. Well, what is your biggest pet peeve? Feel free to let me know. Final Push says, long and slow checkout lines at grocery stores, and all the people who cut in front of you and act as if you were a ghost and never there just because you are a foreigner. I've seen them do that to each other, and the ones in line act the same way, like the one who cut in line is a ghost and didn't just do it, including the fucking cashier. Extreme Traffic says, moral character shortcomings, lying instinctually as a first response, can't suck it up and take responsibility for mistakes, cling to comfortable lies rather than face inconvenient truths. This comment received over 56 upvotes on Reddit, meaning many people agree. This is the second most liked comment. Other people say, requests for money, noise pollution, drives me mad, chickens, goats, dogs, cats, people yelling, disco music, motorcycles. QXZ says, dogs kept in cages, barking at every hour of the day. Kids littering right in front of a garbage can. Cage13 says, traffic, my fucking god, wanna go 1 kilometer to 5 kilometer away thinking it will be 15 minutes? No? Sit in traffic for an hour or more. Absolutely ridiculous. Bloker Report says, sound systems always at their maximum volume, zero regard for sound quality, must be allowed as possible, and play the worst single layer trance possible. The constant request to borrow money, says Moist Macaroons. Kasha says, while there are many, I am torn between saying what would be the most selfish thing, or I can say what's really bigger than me. But I will say the pet peeve that is bigger than me. The absolute abhorrent way Filipinos treat their dogs. I am not religious in any shape or form, but if I was, I would say most Filipinos would be going to hell for the way they treat their dogs. That is the second person out of maybe 10 comments that has mentioned people mistreating animals. This will be a culture shock to you if you're coming from a Western country which they admire dogs or other innocent animals. In the Philippines, it's nothing to them. They do not care. Some of the conditions they keep them in will have you starting fights with their neighbors. Ryan says, the crazy amount of plastic packaging. Sheku says, people never taking any responsibility for anything when they could have. For example, agents in whatever service or agency that could do something minor to make the process easier, but because of lame reasons, they give up and blame the system. It ends up being a huge waste of time for everyone. This is something you will notice going to any type of place to have anything done. Something basic or simple will have you coming back a whole other day. Intellectually Driven says, 35 comments in and no one said it. I thought it would be the first one. I'm shocked. Out of stock. Precisely. ATL says, terrible toilets. Ampo says, people who drive their bikes at night with no lights on while wearing all dark colors on an unlit street and acting like everyone can easily see them. Constant scams and thieves, says Timu Jade. Childishness, says Gracious. No sidewalks. Too much sugar in everything. Rotten local food. Brownouts. Reliance on cash instead of more convenient methods of payment like a card. Although a large part of them might be where I am located, most businesses in my town don't take anything but cash, says Diver Are You Okay? Super slow cell phone data speed outside of major cities. ATMs limiting you to 10,000 pesos per withdrawal. In most instances, like Get as many as 250 peso fee as possible. If it wasn't for my Schwab investor checking account providing unlimited out-of-network ATM machine refunds, I would have to figure out a better solution to getting cash out of my accounts. The chance that somebody is with you because you are a gold ticket, not a person. Although this can be mitigated by finding a partner who is already capable of standing on their own 2 feet and don't need or want your financial support. As much as I agree, sir, you fail to follow the rules. Diver, are you okay? Don't be a hypocrite. Don't accuse other people and other things of not working when you yourself don't follow the rules. Keep that in mind, sir. Luke says, sorry, sir, out of stock. Even though it's been on the menu every day for the last 3 years, but out of stock for 7. White lies to save face, says second. What about my face? No consideration, says, the lack of personal space when waiting in line. People behind you are basically touching you, LOL. Until you can smell the garlicky breath and have the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Long jumping poet says, people will literally pull out right in front of you without a care in the world. If they hit you with their car, you can be walking down the street and a vehicle will literally be stopped on the other side of the street, then attempt to do a U-turn right in front of you, seemingly on purpose, waiting for you to walk next to them to do so. They walk with the same inconsideration as they drive, without a care in the world for any semblance of consideration, and will just walk right in front of you while they are standing there while still in their phone. Sure, admittedly, this happens in the US, but not nearly as much as it happened to me and my wife here in the Philippines. And it's considered rude in the US. Here, it's just par for the course. I'm currently in the Philippines waiting for my Airbnb reservation to expire, then leave for greener pastures. One thing I want to remind people, with Airbnb or even renting an apartment or a home, most of you guys should have only paid 1 month in advance and 1 month deposit. The month in advance, okay, run it till the end of the month. But is your sanity really worth 20, 30, 40,000 pesos to wait an additional 6 or 7 months until your lease runs out or whatever the time is? I highly recommend you reconsider and just get out if you have the option. It's simply not worth it. You will be surprised how happy you are when you get back to America or whichever country you're from. Just the calmness, the fresh air, and things operating will remind you again why everyone else in the world wants to be in your first world country. JLL says, slow customer service. Abel says, the constant soul-crushing low IQ relentless staring. JL says, slow customer service, not available, mom, sir. Then go look around your own, and bam, the item is there. Some, or quite a lot, of them are slow to get you, especially when the conversation gets deeper. Traffic drivers hog the road. I guess so many, LOL. At least this person admitted he gave too many answers. Bringing my own tissue to the toilet. Gossip culture. Driving in traffic where road rules don't exist. Complete lack of spatial awareness both on the road and in person. If you leave space in front of you in a line, someone will try to squeeze in front of you, and this is also applied to the rows. Leaving food out for hours, sometimes entire days. Talented and hardworking people leave the country. Let's fire off a few more. Getting ripped off everywhere you go. Car rear trunk visual check. Levels of service is terrible. The crazy driving on the road. 15 years here and still not used to it. People completely ignoring lanes on the street highways. Everyone's late. People are training the kids to beg as child abuse and human trafficking. The complete acceptance of things being broken forever. Tampo. How all ATM seems to dispense 1,000 peso bills, but nowhere has changed. I wrote in a post about this. I just briefly say generally the lack of concept of other people that most Filipinos have and just no consideration for anyone. The fact that this entire island of paradise is treated like a big litter can. Family expecting you to take care of them. Always late. Motorcyclists treating the sidewalk as an extra traffic lane. Asthma. Some locals can be very close-minded. Filipinos side by side walking towards you. The norm is you must turn your body or tuck in your left arm or face consequences. When an event is going on in the mall, why does it have to be so loud? Good Lord. Food. Random people in the street shouting, bald-headed as you walk by. Security guards at condos. I could say more often in the Philippines if it weren't for them. I could stay more often in the Philippines. Constant need for cash. Damn, I just want either swipe or tap. Girls with bad breath. Getting called ma'am sir. Terrible food. Honking. Everything intolerable beside one thing, noise pollution. Incompetent home builders. Why is everything so damn expensive? The list goes on forever. You can read it yourself on Reddit, some expat group. What are your pet peeves? Share them. Thanks for listening. God bless.